We are going to talk briefly about campus safety during our virtual learning time. So this is for any and all staff members who are coming to campus, even though our students aren't here. Whenever you guys come to campus for your virtual instruction, these are the safety procedures that we need to follow so that we can be in alignment with district expectations for safety in the time of COVID. All right, so before you arrive to campus, the number one thing that you have to do is take your own temperature at home, and then you need to complete this home health screen form. When you click this link, it will take you, and I'm going to send the link out, and I'm also going to post it as a QR code on the front door, just in case you forget to do it before you leave the house. You can do it as soon as you get to campus. So you're going to complete the home health screening form. It asks for your name, the date, and 2 questions. Are you sick? And have you been around anybody who's sick, essentially? They're 2 yes or no questions. You check those, you hit submit, and then you're done. That's the home health screening form, and you need to complete that every single day before you come to campus or before you walk in the front door beginning tomorrow. While you are on campus, you must wear a mask or a face covering while you are on district property. That is the district policy right now, and you must adhere to that policy. The only exception to that is when you are working alone by yourself in your classroom. I'll say that again. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you don't love it. I don't really love it, but I do want to be safe, and I want to make sure that I'm keeping other people safe as well. So you have to keep your mask on or a face covering, those girders that kind of come up from around your neck, anytime that you are on district property inside of a building. That's for any building that you go to across the district. You do not have to have it on when you are in your classroom by yourself. But when you have a visitor come in and you guys decide to sit and chit chat, mask has to go back on. All right, please make sure that you are observing social distancing when you're working in groups or in teams. So when you get together in a PLC situation, or if you just wanted to go talk to your neighbor and just chit chat for a little bit, or you're walking down the hallway together to come to the main office or to head back to your classrooms or your portables, just please make sure that you're observing social distancing. Please wash your hands frequently using soap and water for a minimum of 20 seconds. I don't know why that looks like that, but it shouldn't. So minimum of 20 seconds, and then make sure that you use hand sanitizer after touching any shared surfaces. Non-dragon staff. So this is anyone who is not employed by this school. No visitors at this time on campus. We can't have extra people on campus that we have to worry about and screen and those sorts of things. So no visitors, no vendors, no extra people coming and hanging out on campus at all. If there's something going on that you need to have a visitor, for instance, if you need to have a vendor who's coming and to show you band instruments, and then they might need to actually bring the instruments to show you, then you just need to get that cleared with your administrator first. So if you do have a need to have a visitor on campus, please just get it cleared with an administrator first. Staff that is intending to bring children to work, you must complete that form that Dr. Martinez sent out. It's the request form that he emailed more than a week ago now. Once you're approved and you are allowed to have your children on campus with you while you're working, they must be in your classroom or your office at all times. Anytime that your child needs to go outside of that space, you must be with them. I'm going to say that one again. Anytime that the student or child that you bring to school to work with you needs to leave your room, you must go with them. That means to the restroom, that means to the water fountain, that means to run out to the car. You must be with that person. And then last but not least, our campus is going to be sanitized once a week with the little electromagnetic zapper thing that zaps everything. Looks like a Ghostbusters backpack whenever they come through, and it's kind of cool looking. But they will sanitize the campus every Friday evening or Saturday morning. And so what that means for you is that anything that is in your classroom that you want sanitized, such as your keyboard or your mouse, or pens or pencils or your whiteboard markers, just please leave those out on a flat surface, and then they will come through each and every room. They will zap everything in the room. They'll zap the door handles. They're going to do the front doors, inside and outside. They're going to zap inside the restrooms. They're going to zap, zap, zap to death. It is not a spray, so you do not have to worry about items getting wet. It's not a spray. So you don't have to worry about items getting wet. So if you have a sticky note on your desk and you'd like to leave it there, you're okay. Just know that underneath the sticky note might not get zapped, okay? So anything that you need to have sanitized, please leave it out on Fridays whenever you leave campus, and then it will be sanitized whenever you get back on Monday. That is all that I have. Are there any questions in the chat?
I've addressed some of the questions on the chat because I know there's some concerns. Also, at this point, everyone who applied on the children request has been approved, is approved. So everyone who submitted the request is approved. The spray or whatever it's called, the bacteriostatic, it lasts 60+ days, but they're doing it once weekly on campuses.
Dr. Martinez, while you're on here, and before we go into Ms. Moppin, we had a question earlier that you can go ahead and answer now. The report time for tomorrow, if you want to go ahead and let them know the time they should report to campus tomorrow and Friday. Dr. Martinez.
Yeah, can you repeat that?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Dr.
Yes,
Martinez,
I can hear you.
I don't know, he must have got it on mute. I'll ask him. Ms. Moppin, can you knock on his door and to ask him, can you hear me?
Martinez. All right, he said give him a second.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. He was just sitting there still. I didn't know if he froze up.
Boys?
Yes.
Okay, let me clarify. I'm looking inside of the chat now that I'm back in my office, and I'm seeing a couple of things. I am going to send an email that has the online BioClock link and the COVID-19 clearance health screen in the same email. Everybody, if you're on campus or at home, you can do the virtual clock in so that you don't have to touch the BioClock. Cool? Cool.
All right, we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The boss did. He was asking you a question. All right, so I'm going to talk about our enrollment process for this school year. And there's one of our babies up here, looks like. Okay, 2 of our babies up here that the district is using. So we're going to talk about our enrollment process now and what all you have to do. This is very important because we don't want to lose any staff members because you did not take attendance correctly. So we have 4 codes that will be available to use in Power School. OC for on-campus present, RAE, remote, asynchronous, engaged, unexcused, and tardy on campus. So we know that we won't be using tardy on campus and we won't be using on-campus present at this time, right? Right. So the default attendance code for our students is going to be on-campus present. So that means you can't do a blanket submit because that would mean that our kids are here, which would mean what? You didn't take your attendance correctly, right? So then you would have to do an attendance correction form for all of those kids. So please make sure that you must change the attendance code to RAE for students who demonstrate learning engagement for that day. I'm gonna say if they clocked in and they are present in your class, you're gonna hit RAE, okay? Because we don't know what's going on with kids. They're doing something. They're turning in work. They're doing something, okay? So they are present. So let's mark RAE. That means you have to take attendance after every period. I know we have till the end of the day for students to submit, but if we're looking at engagement, students being present in the meeting when they're supposed to be there, okay? So please don't forget to take your attendance. You must change the attendance to you for unexcused absent students who do not demonstrate learning engagement. That's kind of vague to me, but if the students are there and they are working, they're submitting assignments, participating, okay, let's go ahead and give them credit. Secondary school, September 8th, that's our first day of school. You will need to take attendance day 1 by the end of the school day. I'm saying do it all along because we all know you veteran teachers how it was last year. You get busy, you're teaching, you're in your zone, and then I come on at 4:30 and say, hey, you haven't submitted your attendance, and then you just hit submit. How are you gonna know who was there, who wasn't there if you're not taking some type of attendance during the day? So please, please, please go ahead and make sure that you're taking attendance each period. The teacher must take attendance each class period. So I don't know why they say you have to submit at the end of the day, but each class period. In the system, the teachers will mark the student as RAE, remote asynchronous engaged, on day 1. That's the only code you can mark. You can't mark absent at all on day 1. So make sure that you do this, and I will make sure that this gets sent out to you so you know you have to do day 1. The teacher must submit attendance by the end of the day for all classes scheduled for the day. This is the same code you will utilize until when? October 6th, okay? October 6th. Now, if you mark kids on campus present, this is what's going to happen. On the evening of Thursday, September 10th, which is 2 days after school start, students whose attendance is on campus present or unexcused for 2 out of 3 days will be dropped from our system. So if you just go in there on day 1 and hit submit present and it's on campus, those kids are gonna fall off our roll on, if you do that every day for the first 3 days, those kids are gonna fall off our roll and our enrollment is going to drop, and some people will be going somewhere else to work this school year. So please do not do that. Make sure you're taking correct attendance and that you're marking RAE. Okay, so from September 8th to October 5th, student attendance will be taken daily, and students identified as remote asynchronous or unexcused absence. Students can demonstrate engagement until 11:59 p.m. I'll repeat that. Students can demonstrate engagement. They can turn in assignments, even if they don't check in, they're saying at that particular time. Demonstrating engagement is them actually doing the assignment. So they have until 12 o'clock that night, that same day, to do their work. So you will have to do an attendance correction form for that student because they did participate that day, okay? Once again, attendance correction form, you will get that from Ms. Solis, who's our registrar. Now, if you take out your phone and text 37607T Moppin 005 and answer this question for me.
And while they're doing that, Ms. Moppin, there was a question in the chat from Mr. Reed. It said, will attendance be taken in Power School the first few weeks of school? Just want you to go ahead and answer that.
Definitely, yes. Attendance will be taken in Power School every day, every day. Everybody is on Power School. As far as I know, if you do not have access to Power School after our session today, somebody put, I said it 5 times, come on. After our session today, please email me, or come by and see me, today. Okay. If they're coming in, they're coming in. I don't know about this. I need to see who put that down there. What 2 codes? RAE, somebody say AE question mark. No, you're going to submit the wrong thing. You'll be working somewhere else. Okay, RAE, unexcused. Okay, so our 2 codes that we can mark only is RAE and unexcused absent. Okay, only 2. Write that down somewhere so that you won't forget. All right. Oh, question mark. Y'all better pay attention because I'm not gonna be a happy camper. Okay, at the end of time. Now we're gonna go ahead and go into AESOP. How you're gonna report your absences at this time. If you have any questions about the last presentation, put it in the chat and then we'll answer. But please make sure you take accurate attendance, guys, because it will make a difference in our enrollment if you just blindly hit submit. Okay, so AESOP. Okay, so first thing, you should have received an email from AESOP online already, and it will have your credentials in there for how you need to submit, you know, what's your password, what's your, how you log in and everything. So they sent that email, I want to say last week or a week before last, so maybe 2 weeks ago. If you don't have your information, I'll tell you how to get it, okay? So once you log in, and you can do it from your phone or you can do it from your computer, all right? So you can download the app, or you can do your link from your phone. So usually your ID, your username is your phone number, okay? And then your PIN is going to be your zip code. Now, for some people, that's not true because we ran into that last year. Some people were struggling with that. But generally, this is the way. Whatever phone number you used when you were hired, that is the phone number that goes in there. And then your PIN is usually your zip code. Once you're in the system, you're going to choose the day that you're going to be out. And then you're going to select your reason for being out. And then after you do that, you're going to hit submit, and then it's going to give you a confirmation code. It's just that simple. And so what you need to remember is the website. Put your absence in the system if you're going to be out for any reason. You know, y'all have those planned absences, but then you wait till the day of to put it in. Put it in so we can get a substitute, guys. Because we don't want, you know, it's going to be hard with COVID to split classes, right? So let's make sure that you are securing a sub prior to being out, especially once we all come back to campus. So if you're going to be out, you can call me at 214-208-0118 between the hours of 4:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Even though I'm up, late hours sometimes, whatever, don't call me after 10:30. And please don't call me at 4 in the morning, okay, Miss HG? All right, don't call me at 4 in the morning and disrupt my sleep to tell me you're not coming to work, okay? So I still have to get my rest, okay? I don't wake up like this, okay? So I have to have time to do all of this. So let's make sure that you call at a respectable time, and you start back calling at 6 o'clock. However, if you, you know, if it's late, you can text me because my phone on do not disturb about 9:30 anyway. So just hit me a text. Don't call. Please don't call. Send a text. Let me know that you're going to be out. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, you can start back calling. But at 7 o'clock, you won't be able to put yourself in the system. So it is important. If you know you're going to be out, go ahead and put it in the system, all right? And notify your appraiser. So you need to notify your evaluator as well as me. Yeah, I know a lot of times, you know, we were going in between two people. Some people tell Ms. Aguilar, and then some people tell me. And so let's please stick to the plan. Please let me know and your appraiser if you're going to be out. That way I can prepare for how we're going to do our substitutes for that day. Your emergency plans, you know, we are now in a technological age, and your emergency plans need to be in your Google Classroom. It needs to be set up where we can have someone to come in and facilitate. So your students are used to getting on your Google Classroom. So that's where your emergency plans need to be. It's your responsibility to assign the lesson to the students for the days that you're going to be absent. Okay, we have the Google Class codes, but you need to assign the work. You need to have something already readily available to assign your students if you're going to be out. Your detailed instruction needs to be left for your substitute along with the seating chart on the desk, clearly labeled when we get back. Okay, so we have to have seating charts when we get back for every classroom. So you can go ahead and get started on that, because that is going to be a mandate. Absences must be in before 6:45 in the morning, because it will lock you out at 7 o'clock. You will receive an email. I already talked about that. Be sure you save the information from your credentials that's in your email. If you like me and you cleared it out, that's okay, because you can go to Ms. Aguilar and she can give you your information that you need to log in for your sub. School-wide emails. I did this today and I shouldn't have. I thought I was replying just to one person. However, I think I said thank you to Miss Escobedo, and then it went to everybody. So never use DG Seegerville to send emails without administrator's signature or permission, okay? And then I did this today. Don't hit reply all. I thought I was replying to one. So don't hit reply all when responding to emails sent out to DG Seegerville. If you want to say something to that person, please just reply to that particular person. Because believe it or not, your email will get very full and overwhelming if everybody did that all of the time, okay? Now I'm gonna switch gears and talk about gradebook policy. Now, there has not been any updates, so I'm going to go with what's in policy right now with our grades, okay? So if you have errors in grades, they must be corrected within 10 days after the grading period ends, okay? And that correction will require principal signature and documentation to say why you are changing this particular grade. And then that will go to Miss Alvarez for her to send it off and get it approved and everything. Okay, a minimum of 2 grades per week, and that would be a minimum of 18 grades per grading period per subject, okay? So if something changes, then I'll let you know, but as of right now, you want to make sure that you are recording at least 2 grades a week, because now, you know, parents are really in parent portal. They're going to be looking and checking those grades. So we need to make sure that they are there for them to see. Nothing is more embarrassing than to talk to a parent about a child's grade, and you go to look in the grade book and there's nothing there for a teacher or so. And it's not a vacant teacher either. So let's make sure that we are documenting grades weekly, and our progress reports are issued every 3 weeks. I think that will still be the same. So let's make sure that grades are in there for a progress report. We want to remember our students once we get back to playing sports and competing in other UIL competitions. Like the band has a UIL competition, chess, they have to be passed in order to compete there, as well as I believe theater follows UIL competition and dance. So we have several elective classes or UIL activities that students are involved in that require them to be passing at certain points in the year. So certain points in the grading period. So please, ma'am, please, sir, keep grade book updated, because kid can't be passing this week, and then when progress come out, he failing the next week. Parent hadn't been consulted, nor the student, nor the sponsor of the UIL activity. So let's do due diligence with our students and make sure we are documenting weekly. Homework. And see, I highlighted this. Homework should be a reinforcement of the mastery of the skills that you are doing. Homework should not fail a kid at all. Okay? If they didn't turn their homework, we need to call the parent. It should not be a reason why a student fails, because homework and classwork is in the same category, so they weigh the same. So we need to just make sure that, you know, homework supports what students have learned, and that they're not penalized for it. Feedback should be provided within 48 hours of the submission of the assignment, and no more than 1.5 hours per night, or no more than 7 hours per week for all grade levels combined. We don't want to give kids lots and lots of homework that you're not going to grade anyway, and then they're struggling to get it all done. Okay, so let's give them something that's going to be quick for them to get done, and just reinforce what we have learned for that particular day. Makeup work and incomplete grades related to absences. Students are allowed to make up work if they have been absent without penalty to their grade. Students should be given at least 2 days for every day they were absent to complete an assignment or to make up a test. Makeup grades not related to absences. We still want to give them an opportunity. We're not in the business of failing students, okay? So if they're out and they need to make up assignment, they still can get the assignment made up, but it says with a penalty. Don't penalize the kids 20 points for every day that they go without taking the test. How are the students supposed to pass if we're doing that type of practice? So, you know, 5 points, 10 points, they still have an opportunity to still pass the assignment and do well and it not make their grades suffer. Giving zeros is not a best practice, okay? Before that zero goes in that book, a phone call needs to be made to the parent to make sure they are aware that the student has missed the assignment. And then, and only then if they don't turn it in, that you can put that zero down, just as a best practice. I know sometimes we get busy and you don't want to call the parent, but we have to make that family school connection and work as a team to ensure that students are being successful. And then students are permitted to retake tests that you give in the classroom, okay? So student must be, they are permitted to retake major tests that they fail within 5 days of school failing. Now, of course, there's 6 weeks tests. Now, you know, ACPs, they can't retake that, but we wanna make sure that if students have failed a test, we want to do some reteaching, and then we want to reassess them. And then you can average the grades, or you can give them the grade that they got on the second attempt, okay? And then students enrolled, we already talked about extracurricular activities, so I'm not gonna go through that again, but let's just be fair to students. Clock in time. We need to clock in by 7:50, clock out at least by 4:30. And then on your duty days, when we come back in, you need to be in a little earlier, just a little bit earlier, so that we are here. 7:50, because we need to be online at 8 o'clock, not running in the door, trying to thumb in, and it's 8:05 and kids are waiting for you. That is what breaks trust. If the students are going to be online on time, then we as the adults, the teachers, need to be online on time, okay? So you should be here by 7:50 in your room, ready to go at 8 o'clock if you are coming into campus. If you are at home, you should be dressed and not sitting in your bed at a table and ready to go to work, okay? And then parking, you can park anywhere all over this campus as long as it doesn't say Miss Maupin's spot, Dr. Martinez spot, or so there are some signs around that belong to certain parking spaces. Teacher of the Year spot that belongs to Mr. Martinez, the other Martinez. So let's park anywhere except for where there's a designated area. Most people park closest to their classroom, however you get there, but you're gonna get in through the front door, okay? So let's make sure that you are there. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I got, I was gonna email you some, but I can read them. There's 3 of them real quick. The first one goes back, I believe this is an open procedure, if you want to answer this one. They said, I understand that even though a student may be absent, for example, on Tuesday, we may contact with them and parents and still count them present, but if they are absent the next 2 days, do we still count them absent? If that makes sense.
Repeat that again, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put it in the chat so you can see it.
I still don't have my glasses on, but okay. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Ms. Maupin, for that information. Let me provide a little bit of clarity. Teachers, you are professional staff. You're not clocking in and clocking out. That's why I put it in quotes. You're not hourly employees. But as a means for liability issues and different reasons, that's one of the policies that's in place. Now, you don't have to worry about it during these times. All you have to do is have the one thumb in during these times. You don't have to have a thumb out at any time. That's in place when we're at full capacity, and that way we can keep track of who's where for liability issues and any other things that arise during those times. So just keep that in mind, but please, 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 please make sure you are thumbing in daily, ladies and gentlemen, because it becomes a big headache for our payroll for Ms. Aguilar when she's doing the paperwork if you haven't done so in doing those corrections, okay? Other than that, let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any more questions. I know it's a lot of information. Oh, go ahead.
All right, I have something. So you can make any corrections that you need to in Power School up until 4:30. So after 4:30, then it's an attendance correction change form. So you're gonna take your attendance that day, that period. However, if the student does log in by 11:59 and does assignment or what have you, then you can do the attendance correction form and mark the kid to RAE, okay?
All right. Teachers, I know it's a lot of information, but the next 2 days are yours. And what I mean by that is set up everything you need to prepare. You know, if you physically need to set up your classroom just to be prepared, at some point, everybody will have to. Just keep that in mind. So Thursday and Friday of this week are designated teacher work days. Does not mean they're free days, but it does mean that for the most part, we won't be having too many organized meetings. Now, there may be some departmental things going on, so just be on the lookout for those invites. But do not forget, tomorrow is our Meet the Teacher night, and it's virtual. So if you haven't done so, look through your emails. Most of them are from Ms. Maupin, I believe, and submit all the documentation and be ready to go. On top of that, I want to thank everybody for your engagement and your learning. We've had several people at the district level log on to our virtual PD for last week and this week, and they were very impressed by our setup and our engagement, our level of engagement. I want to send a special thanks to Mr. Du Bois, because this couldn't have gone as smoothly without him and his help and his, you know, just kind of emceeing everything, putting that good music out there and keeping it going. Special thanks to my front office staff for holding it down in the front office this whole time. Very minimal disruptions. Ms. Aguilar and the team, they really doing their thing, because the phones don't stop ringing these days. And of course, to my leadership team, SILT team, counselors, and of course, my assistant principals, excellent job. Ladies and gentlemen, teachers, I hope you know that there's a lot of effort into making this, successful, and trying our best to get this school year started and give you as much information as possible in a way that's engaging and entertaining somewhat. So thanks to everybody, because, that's the only way we're going to be successful is a continued effort. Now, a little bit of an update. I know I mentioned something about map testing. Okay, this is a district-wide initiative, and students will be shuttled into campuses starting the second week of classes. So what is it? The 14th of September. I would appreciate as many hands physically on deck as possible. I'm not going to mandate that. It's on a voluntary basis. Those of you that have been showing up to campus, I really appreciate you. It makes us feel good to see this many dedicated employees. Those of you that are at home, I'm not trying to say you're not dedicated. I appreciate your engagement. I understand that there are unique circumstances for everybody. But, for map testing, we do need, we're doing 75 students in shifts. So 75 in the morning, 75 in the afternoon, until we get them all tested during the month of September. More details to come on that plan, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up and ask for your assistance during these times. On top of all that, please make sure that as much technological, that we avoid any big technology issues on the 8th. So, tomorrow and Friday are days to make sure everything's set up the way you want it, making sure that all your devices are in working order, all the updates have been done, and those things that we don't always think about because this is unique to this school year. So please, 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 if you need any tech support, reach out to us or file a ticket with the IT department. Also, those of you that are brand new or just new to the district or the campus, if you need assistance with curriculum, reach out to an administrator, reach out to the departments at the district level. And I'm, of course, if it's a big core, English, math, social studies, or science, you have a whole big team. But if you're one of those singletons, I know I talked to Mr. Cuarenta yesterday about Spanish. Make sure you get in touch with the appropriate department and make sure you know your curriculum, because those are unique circumstances for some of you. And these next 2 days are the days to do that. Other than that, I think that's the big stuff. If anybody, do you have something, Ms. Muffin?
Yes, we're gonna go through our Meet the Teacher thing to see if our links work. So that's gonna be the next part. Mr. Martinez sent you guys a link.
Ms. Mopin, real quick before we jump into that, Dr. Martinez, can you hear me? Go ahead and tell them about that question about reporting tomorrow and Friday, the time.
Oh, totally forgot. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so the teacher work days, that's where I was going originally. Sorry. The teacher work days, ladies and gentlemen, I do not care if you're here as long as it's by 8:30 or if you're clocked in by 8:30 on the teacher work days. Those are your days, and it's basically a day to set up. I mean, that those are designated. I'm not here to take up your time or be a stickler for the time clock on those days. But please make sure you are doing using the time clock, because we cannot have all the corrections that we've been having because it really does delay payroll for us. So yeah, thank you for the reminder, Mr. Du Bois. On teacher work days, 8:30 is a fine start time as far as I'm concerned. So just keep that in mind, that's from here on out.
Thank you. Ms. Mopin, do you want me to record this?
Yes, that would be great. All right, so you should have received a link, and that link will take you to this page. So I'm gonna go in the mode that you would be seeing. And